It's real talk. 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 Yeah. Welcome to Real Talk with your host, Chip Washington. It's real talk. It's real talk. It's real talk.
And here we go on this Monday evening. It is March 13th, 2023, 6 o'clock straight up, which means it is time for Real Talk Memphis. I am your humble host, Chip Washington. Very happy to have you with us. Very happy to be here on this evening. I hope you all had a good weekend. For many folks, spring break has now sprung. It is spring break here in the city, so all the schools are out, faculty, staff, and students are running around. A lot of folks on vacation, but we hope that there are enough of you out there to listen to and enjoy the big broadcast tonight here on Real Talk Memphis. I have something in front of my face here, and I'm trying to figure out how to get it out. But that's okay. That's a whole other thing. That's the Facebook Live thing. So, speaking of, there are many ways that you can find us on this fine piece of radio broadcasting. Of course, we are on live right now, 91.7 on your FM dial. That will be WYXR. You can also find us on the WYXR app. We are also on TuneIn as well as Facebook Living tonight. I see, we're out there tonight on the Facebook thing. When the show posts tomorrow, you can catch us on YouTube. And, of course, we are a podcast, so you can always catch us wherever you get your podcast. So now that we have all that out of the way, sit back and relax and buckle in and prepare for what I hope will be a very good show tonight. We have three good guests, so we are continuing our celebration of Women's History Month, and one of my guests is Vonesha Mitchell. She is the executive director of the Women's Business Center South, and she's going to tell us about what that organization is all about, and really kind of the state of play in terms of women and women-run businesses, Memphis and Shelby County, and what her organization is doing to help create some of the future entrepreneurs out there. Also, a little bit later on, we're going to be speaking with Mario Hendrix. Mario is the Vice President of Programs for Bridges USA. We all know about Bridges and all the fine work that they do here in our city, particularly with our youth. And he's going to talk a little bit about the Bridge Builder program. Mario has been with that organization for 20 years. He actually was a member, and he is now in an administrative position for them. And a little bit later on, we're going to talk with someone we all remember what happened to Damar Hamlin, the football player for the Buffalo Bills, who almost died on the field. He collapsed, his heart stopped, he had a heart attack out there. If not for the work of all the folks, the trainers and all the athletic folks out there, to help to save his life. We're going to talk a little bit about that tonight with Emily Carter. She's a certified athletic trainer, working, in trying to keep these young folks safe. A lot of athletes now, preparing in the off season, getting ready, for a brand new year, and basically some of the things that they need to do and things that she does as an athletic trainer to help keep folks safe, especially our young folks, as they prepare for another season of sports. So there you go. That is the lineup for this evening. Once again, happy spring break to each and everybody out there. And, of course, it is at this time of the program where we celebrate your trip around the sun, your current trip around the sun. If you had a birthday over the weekend or today or even this week, we are celebrating you on this day. with a big shout out. But we can't even think about doing a shout out until I say, hit it, Brent. See, you have to have the proper setup. See, if you're going to do the birthday shout out deal, you have to have the proper setup in order to be able to do that. So happy birthdays going out to the following folks. Tina Tilton is celebrating today. Happy birthday to Hudson Taylor. Mikhail Lowry, chairman of the Shelby County Commission, celebrating his birthday today. Siobhan Washington Carruthers, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Tony Bratcher. Annie Chapman Spencer. Les Taylor. Sarah Stansberry is celebrating today, as is Shakira Thomas, Tavio Taylor, Olivia Jackson, and Tomika Hart Wigington. Happy birthday to each and every one. Wait a minute. Lola I have to look at Lola to find out exactly what's happening here. Whose birthday? It is your birthday. You want to do it? You want me to do it? Okay. So today is Lola's mother's birthday. Can I get the name? Johnny Lee. Johnny Lee, listen. I work with your daughter each and every week. And most of the time it's a pleasure. No, actually all the time all the time it's a pleasure. And she wants to extend a happy birthday wish to you, Mom, and so do all of us here at Real Talk Memphis. And for the rest of you as well, we hope to be here next year as we celebrate your next trip around the sun. Thank you, Bren. So there was some news today that might have frightened a few people earlier. Two big banks in this country collapsed earlier today. Failure, as a matter of fact, so much the president had to get on TV and say, don't worry about it. Everybody else, your bank, your money is fine. Your money is insured. Don't worry about it. I would say check your accounts anyway. But when two big banks fall like that, it tends to create a bit of a panic out here for the rest of us. But we are assured that your money is insured and everything is in good shape. So don't worry about that. But again, keep up with your account information and things like that, because you never know what might happen. Before I get to the Memphis Tigers, who are on their way to the NCAA tournament, did anybody hear about what happened to a man in Ohio, small town in Ohio? This gentleman apparently, I don't know if he raises them or collects, I don't know what, but he has zebras. The striped animals, zebras. He has zebras as pets. Well, one of those zebras actually attacked him and bit off his left arm, the entire arm. We don't know why that happened. But anyway, the zebra was put down. They actually tried to, as the man was laying on the ground and emergency personnel were trying to treat him, the zebra was actually, they parked their vehicle, the emergency vehicle, between themselves and the zebra, and the zebra tried to attack the vehicle. So, I'm not laughing at that in particular, but that's, again, why anybody would want to have pets, like wild animal pets, keep them. We've seen story after story, example after example of situations like that. So it could have been worse, but it was clearly bad enough. There were 3 teenagers that escaped from the Wilder juvenile facility in West Tennessee earlier today. They have yet to be caught. They are, by all measures, they are armed and dangerous. It was the Wilder Youth Development Center in Fayette County. And they all escaped this morning. They are to be considered dangerous individuals. They are all young men, but again, they escaped, and they are still at large at this hour. Apparently, they got out sometime about 10 o'clock last evening. Dyersburg police are looking for a kidnapping suspect after a woman says she's been held captive for the last 2 months. She recently escaped from a closet in a house turns out to be the ex-boyfriend that is the one that the police are pursuing. He held her captive for 2 months in a closet. Very little food and not much else there, but looks like she's going to be okay. Very malnourished, but looks like she's going to be okay in the end. So all hail the Memphis Tigers. They not only won their tournament over the weekend by beating Houston, they are now on their way to the NCAA tournament. They play this Friday night. They play Florida Atlantic University. This is gonna be fun. That game is gonna be tough, but again, to go the eighth seed again. We don't know exactly. I hadn't heard what time on Friday night, but they play late on Friday evening in Ohio, I believe it is. So go Tigers, go! Let's root our boys on to victory. I'm trying to see not a whole lot else going on in reference to the usual foolishness and nonsense. We were talking before the show started about the Tennessee State House passing a law, about these the strippers and the drag shows and things like that around here. We spend all this time passing a law that says you can't have, these type of events and out in public and things like that. When we have so many other issues that we could be dealing with, like, violence for one thing. These shootings that happen every 10 minutes around here, the permitless carry of 21-year-olds, maybe 18-year-olds soon if they can pass that bill. But anyway, that is a personal comment from me. Having said all of that, I'm going to end this news segment by saying we're going to take our first break. And when we come back, we're going to get this show started on this Women's History Month right here as we celebrate the spring break edition of Real Talk Memphis. I'm Chip. We'll be right back.
If you like Real Talk, here's a way you can get involved. Do you have a show topic idea or suggestion? Want to be considered a guest or have a guest idea? Then send Chip a message on his Real Talk show page and you can be a part of the Real Talk experience. So as he always says, go out and tell somebody. We'll be right back.
WYXR is supported by the On Stage at the Halloran Center 2022-2023 season, which continues in downtown Memphis. Experience live entertainment with music, magic, and more, including the return of Orchestra Unplugged and the Songwriter Series events. More information and the full lineup at orpheum-memphis.com/onstage. The On Stage at the Halloran Center season presents the Memphis Songwriters Series, hosted by Mark Edgar Stewart. Mark and his musical guests take audiences on a journey behind the music, sharing stories and introducing new works. The next event is on Thursday, March 16th, featuring Alexis Grace, Alice Hazen, and Yella P. More information at orpheum-memphis.com.
Hey, I'm Will from Crosstown Brewing Company. We support WYXR 91.7 FM. A favorite beer is just like a favorite song. We feel something new every time we encounter them. Cheers to playing the hits and tasting the notes.
WYXR is supported by Minglewood Hall, presenting Big Head Todd and the Monsters. Spanning 3.5 decades of touring and recording, Big Head Todd and the Monsters is a blues-inspired rock band and has earned endorsements from Robert Plant to the Denver Broncos. More information at minglewoodhallmemphis.com.
Get Real Talk on the TuneIn mobile app under WYXR, and he's now streaming live on Facebook. And you can also catch a rebroadcast on YouTube. Just put WYXR in the search box and hit subscribe. Now back to more Real Talk with Chip Washington.
And welcome back to Real Talk Memphis on this Monday night. I hope you managed to get your clock situation right. It's spring forward, fall back, I believe it is. And so now we're seeing brilliant sunshine outside. However, it is a bit chilly, and it's going to be downright cold tonight with frost warnings, freeze warnings in effect. So if you're going out tonight, make sure you take that coat. All right. So as I said before the break, we are talking about Women's History Month, and we're commemorating the achievements of all our women out there. And so I decided that I wanted to talk a little bit about the business atmosphere in reference to Memphis and the Mid-South, Shelby County. So I invited our first guest on the show. I'm glad she accepted. Her name is Vonesha Mitchell. She is the executive director of the Women's Business Center South. And Vonesha, it is good to see you, and welcome to Real Talk Memphis.
Thank you for having me, Chip. I'm glad to be here.
Absolutely. So for those of us who don't really know, kind of explain what it is that your organization does in terms of women and business folks and entrepreneurs and things like that. What does the Women's Business Center South, what is your focus?
Absolutely. Well, we are the result of a partnership between the SBA, the Small Business Administration, and an organization called WeBack South, which is part of the largest national certifier of women-owned businesses in the country. So if a woman wants to do business with a corporation, oftentimes certification will be required. And so that's a great pathway to open some doors there. So those two organizations got together, created the Women's Business Center South, which is a physical location inside of Crosstown Concourse. We do request appointments because we like to be able to service our WBEs or women business enterprises one-on-one and with trainings and introductions to coaches. But we provide what we call technical assistance. And so that's really support that is designed to make sure that a business is able to start, that it is sustainable, and that it can grow. And so that can be in really any of those back of the house managerial areas, bookkeeping, access to capital, HR, some organizational structural things, business planning, is really what we do to make sure that our women business owners in the area have great support.
It looks like you're trying to make sure they have not only support but success as well. What would you say, as someone who deals with this on a daily basis, in terms of the women businesses? What does the landscape look like right now here in Memphis and Shelby County in terms of women in business? Are those numbers picking up? Are they robust? Where are things right now in terms of that?
Absolutely. As far as business starts, women are leading the pack. We are really stepping out there and making some of our ventures, our ideas a reality, bringing some of our expertise from perhaps jobs that we've worked on, problems that we've observed might need a solution, and women are really leading the pack. And Memphis is fertile ground for entrepreneurialism, period, but definitely for women. It's one of the top metros in the country for women-owned business starts.
Well, that's got to be encouraging to you. I would imagine there was a time when it wasn't quite like that, but more and more people, I think, are starting to understand that women, can be very successful in the business world as entrepreneurs. In particular, I read a little bit about all of that and really, trying to start people on their way. I think that you mentioned, helping them, from the back door, kind of giving them that support and that encouragement. Do you have a lot of women that come to you that say, look, Vonesha, I'm looking to start my own business and things like that. What can you do to help me? Are there more women out there who are looking to be future entrepreneurs around here?
Yeah, absolutely. We have seen, a great deal of interest. We started the Women's Business Center July 21, And in just a little over a year, we've seen about 1,300 women-owned businesses. And that is, I'm sure, just a small portion, just a fraction of all of those that are out there. And we service businesses that are in ideation, so maybe they just have an idea. Businesses that are new, so maybe they have just started servicing customers. They may be less than like 3 years old, and very established businesses that may have significant sizable contracts, perhaps those that are even looking at selling their business, succession planning. So really the spectrum is where we hit. And women are statistically, sometimes I tread lightly when saying that, definitely depending on the audience. Statistically, women-owned businesses actually fare better. Women tend to not be quite as risky, which sometimes doesn't work in our favor, but it does mean usually if we're going to start, we want to make sure we start strong. And so great opportunity for investments are out there with women-owned businesses. Women-owned businesses are great loan and capital investments. So for our lenders, women really try to make sure that we're going to be good stewards of that money. So it's a great landscape right now, Chip.
You mentioned 1,300. You said about 1,300 women-owned businesses. I think since 21. That to me seems like an awful lot, Vonesha. That says to me that there really is interest and some fairly decent success in terms of this. And you touched on it a little bit, but why else are women-owned businesses more likely, in your estimation, as somebody who's done this for a while, able to succeed, do you think?
I think also it's been much harder for women to walk this way, right? Which is one of the reasons that there's a need for a women's business center. You know, this is a space that is, because it's SBA, we do not turn anyone away. You know, if a man comes through our doors, we definitely want to be able to service that male entrepreneur. We see young entrepreneurs, youth entrepreneurs come through our door as well. But historically, women have not always had spaces where they felt, I guess, accepted or supported in that entrepreneurial ecosystem. So it's very, very important to have that space. But because it has been so difficult, I think it made those high barriers of entry for women just made sure that you had to be that much more prepared, right? If you were going to take a risk, you're really doing your very best to do your due diligence and make sure that it's calculated and you've thought through all the possible scenarios and you have a plan A, plan B, plan C. And so I really think that a lot of those things are the reason why women-owned ventures are doing better, you know, just because you had to make sure that it was the probability of success was greater if you were going to be taken seriously. Are
the barriers you just mentioned, are they still as high as they once were, or are they starting to come down just a bit because of the success of women in business?
So they're still high, but I will say that they have been called out, right? So a lot of times when they get called out, people are much more cognizant. So they're trying to pay attention so that they can support women in clearing those hurdles, right? And one of those barriers, we'll say, maybe access to capital. Whereas historically, a woman goes into a bank, she might not be an ideal candidate for a loan for a myriad of factors. Maybe she's not the primary breadwinner. Perhaps she doesn't have a significant credit history. Yeah. There are a lot of things that might be looked at as dings against her. Well, because people, men and women, have been calling out that disparity, I think lenders are much more mindful, investors are much more mindful, so they're being intentional about making sure that women can clear those hurdles. So they still exist, but I think you have a lot more people trying to bring them down, which is creating some change, which is good.
Well, that is good, and I would imagine that the more successful women are in business, the better the barriers are coming down because women are starting and are exceeding expectations. And then what you do with the Women's Business South, in terms of expectations, do you see a lot of the clients and people that you work for, people that you know, women-owned businesses, are exceeding expectations?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's sort of like you can take it akin to like talented 10th, and certain groups understand that language, right? But you already know you have to be better, right? So if you have to be better in order to succeed, then generally you're going to sort of meet that expectation. So many of our WBEs, so many of our women business owners really are sailing over different hurdles. They still have many of them. Yeah. And that's why technical support is so significant, because maybe they don't come from generational business ownership, right? So they don't know a lot of the systems and things that are necessary in order for them to succeed in business, or they don't have an MBA or some type of business degree, or maybe even in their network, their organic network, they might not have an attorney, a CPA, some of the different critical roles that are important to succeed in business. But that entrepreneur, that woman business owner is really trying to make sure to build that system of support and sharpen her skill set so that she's really good at networking. So if there are gaps, she can help to fill those gaps. If there are skills that she can build those skills. It's been really amazing watching a lot of the women in the center and how prepared they are, how skilled they are.
So listen, before I let you get out of here, if anybody who is interested in utilizing your professionalism and your services at the Women's Business Center South, how can they get in contact?
Yes, the best way to find us is to go to our website, which is WBC, like Women's Business Center, South, SOUTH. So WBCSOUTH.org, WBCSOUTH.org. There's information about the services that we provide, information about the center. There's an application where you can request support. You submit that form and you will get entered into our pipeline, like our client database, where you will get outreach for one-on-one support. You'll get information on classes. So that's the best way. And then, of course, we have telephone 901-275-1919, 901-275-1919. And we have an info@wbcsouth.org email address.
Well, listen, it's been a real pleasure having you on the show tonight, and I've learned a lot, and I hope that our listeners have learned a lot as well. Vonesha Mitchell, ladies and gentlemen, Executive Director of the Women's Business Center South. Vonesha, thank you again for coming on the show, providing wonderful information for us, and I am glad to see that things are on the move, especially for women entrepreneurs. Thanks for coming on tonight.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, Chip. I appreciate the opportunity.
You have a great night, okay? Take care.
You too.
All right, bye-bye. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Everything you wanted to know about starting your own business, Vonesha Mitchell and the folks at the Women's Business Center South can absolutely help you do just that. We're going to take another break, and when we come back, we are going to continue with the broadcast. We're going to talk to someone who can tell us about Bridges USA, its function, and how it can help your young people start out on the right track and maybe even succeed. This is Real Talk Memphis. I am Chip. You know who you are. Quick break, right back.
If you like Real Talk, here's a way you can get involved. Do you have a show topic idea or suggestion? Want to be considered a guest or have a guest idea? Then send Chip a message on his Real Talk show page and you can be a part of the Real Talk experience. So as he always says, go out and tell somebody. We'll be right back.
WYXR is supported by Shell Days Music Festival, presented by Mentho, April 21st and 22nd at Overton Park Shell. Shell Days will feature 2 days of music with Trampled by Turtles, Southern Avenue, Leftover Salmon, Neil Francis, Paul Thorne, and Bailey Bigger. More information at menthopresents.com.
This is Clark Keys with Crosstown Brewing Company. WYXR is supported by Crosstown Brewing Company's CBC Classic Golf Tournament on Saturday, April 1st at the Links at Galloway. A portion of the proceeds will benefit WYXR. More information available at crosstownbeer.com.
At WYXR, we are committed to uplifting local organizations and businesses who are making an impact in Memphis. If you are looking for ways to spread the word about your business on air and want to support WYXR at the same time, email us at sponsorships@wyxr.org. Do you want to place your company in front of Memphis cultural consumers and influencers? How about interacting with them in a meaningful way? WYXR's second annual stereo sessions at the Memphis Listening Lab is back. We are looking for sponsors to support WYXR's exploration of unsung albums from the musical history of Memphis. For more information, email us at sponsorships@wyxr.org.
Did you know you could donate your vehicle and support WYXR at the same time? We offer free pickup and it's tax deductible. Go to cars.wyxr.org to donate your car today.
Get Real Talk on the TuneIn mobile app under WYXR, and he's now streaming live on Facebook. And you can also catch a rebroadcast on YouTube. Just put WYXR in the search box and hit subscribe. Now back to more Real Talk with Chip Washington.
And welcome back to Real Talk Memphis on this 13th day of March 2023. Very happy to have you with us, and very happy to have my next guest with us. We have all heard of Bridges USA, and we know how important they are to the development of our young people. And I thought it would be good to have somebody on to talk a little bit about that. They have a program entitled the Bridge Builder Program, and I wanted to bring on someone who could talk to us a little bit about that. And maybe if your children, want to be involved in this as we're getting close to the summertime months, this might be a good opportunity. Please welcome to the show Mario Hendrix. Mario is the Vice President of Programs for Bridges USA, and he's also an alumnus of the program. Mario, welcome to Real Talk Memphis. It's great to have you with us tonight. Mario?
Thanks for the opportunity to be here this evening here. Thank you.
Yes, sir, man. Absolutely that. So for those who don't know, give us a little bit of a history about Bridges USA and kind of what Bridges USA is all about.
Cool. So Bridges is the overall organization, and we were celebrating our 100-year last year.
Oh, wow.
We started in the Uptown community, and we are back there right now. And the Bridge Builders Program is the actual leadership program, and we are celebrating 35 plus years. So we've been in the community serving youth for a long time.
That is a long time, 35 years. And you actually went through the Bridge Builder Program, did you not?
Yes. I came through actually when I was going to my 10th grade year, and I didn't want to come. I was the only student from my particular school that went to the program. And once I wanted to leave actually and go home, but my grandparents packed my clothes, made me come. And it's something that I am truly honored and thankful that they put me in.
Well, you've obviously stayed with them for quite a long period of time now that you worked yourself up into the position of vice president. Talk to us about why this program is so important, especially to our young people today. I think we need to get a good picture, in particular, where we are now as we look outside versus what it is that you all are trying to do to build up these young men and women.
So that was a great question there. I think one of the key things that really separates Bridge Builders from a lot of other organizations is that we are really working for students to not only have an impact, but they actually see the impact that they're having on themselves and our community. I mean, basically, there are three pillars that we really focus on. There's leadership, that's truly having an appreciation for diversity. So breaking down those barriers, those cultural lines, we're tackling systemic injustice. But the biggest thing is also community action. Now, you may think of it as community service, but we purposely use the language of community action because whichever area they were in, no matter what organization that we're working with, we want the students to have an understanding of the root causes of that particular issue. So once we leave that area, the students on their own will want to go back and have a greater impact on that particular area. So it's not about, for us, just doing something in the community or showing the students their leadership skills, but it's all about, well, what can I do to apply those skills to myself and to my community? That's the essence of bridge builders.
Wow, so basically you're actually giving these students ownership of you're going to be a part of all of this, and you're going to be a part of the solution. You're actually telling them to take ownership of whatever particular area that they're involved with. You're not just putting them out there, leaving them out there. There's some responsibility, it sounds like, that goes with this.
Exactly, and that's for a lot of people, bridge builders, for a lot of students, bridge builders is their second home to them, and that's because whenever they walk into those buildings, our doors, they're not treated as a kid. They're not treated as someone who just their values aren't valuable. They're not labeled. We really see the students as colleagues. We have what we call a youth and adult equity, which means that our language when we're working with the students is all about making sure that they know that they have a place at the table with us, and that's for any 6th through 12th grader. Our application is live right now for the students that will, and it's not just right now. Our students, our youth, they have a it's a negative connotation that's out there.
Yeah.
But that's just a minor number. The majority of the students and the majority of the youth in our community is seeking opportunities to be at the table with us, the adults.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Now, I was going to ask you what the parameters were. I think you said from 6th grade up. Is that correct?
Our year-round programming is for students that are currently in the 6th through 11th grade.
Okay.
But if there may be some organizations out there, youth groups that would like to have a visual experience, we have programming for those students as well. So, but primarily we are recruiting for our collaborative level, which is rising 7th through 12th graders, but they're currently in school right now, 6th grade through 11th grade.
So they're still in school, but to be a part of the program, how long is the program, Mario? Is it years? Is it a semester? I mean, how do you break it down in terms of time spent?
Cool. So students are selected, and they will go through a 1-week summer leadership conference in June or July, depending on the grade they're going to be in when school starts in the fall. Mm-hmm. Then after that 1-week summer leadership conference, during the academic year, there are many different events that the students participate in. So they're with us basically for a full year. That's June and July all the way through to April of the following year. And in that leadership conference, as I said, our language is very particular. It's a leadership conference. It's not a camp. It's not a 1-week fun thing. It's all about preparing the students to be continuous leaders in our community.
What is your selection process look like? You say students have to be selected. What goes into that process of selection?
Let me break it down. There is no GPA that we're looking for. There is no grade point averages. We only ask the students to do a personal statement. Why you want to be a bridge builder. But beyond that, that is what really their list of honors or awards they may have in school. Mm-hmm. But the scope is why we're looking for any student that is seeking the opportunity to have a place at the table. Our reach right now is the greater Mid-South. So any public school, private school, charter, we have students as far as Tipton County, Munford, down to northern Mississippi, all of West Memphis, Arkansas. So the greater Memphis area, for any, I can't express that part enough, any rising, currently 6th through 11th grader, you can write an essay, demographic information, and that's what we're looking for. The students who a lot of times are looked over and like, oh, that's the student that can be a bridge builder.
That's very interesting. So before I let you get out of here, if there are parents listening to this who want their children to be involved in your program, Bridge Builders program, how do they contact you? How do they reach you?
Well, they can jump skate. You can go ahead and fill out the application right now because it is live, and that's at bridgesusa.org.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to give me a call, you can 901-260-3770. And that's another unique thing about Bridge Builders. There's not a lot of distance you have to get to the staff members. We're really personal. We really make sure that any student or any family that comes through the program have an opportunity to connect with us. So it's bridgesusa.org.
bridgesusa.org. And it sounds as if they're going to be a part of this, though, Mario, it sounds like you all emphasize that if you're going to be a part of this, you need to be serious about what this is all about. Am I correct in that?
Oh, yes. Once you sign up now, I always say once you sign up and you take that first step with us, you're going to be connected. We have students who, like myself, they may have joined us in their 6th grade, going to their 7th grade year, and they're bridge builders today graduate high school. There are thousands of bridge builders in our community doing some extraordinary things.
Well, that is what we want to hear. And Mario Hendrix, ladies and gentlemen, Vice President of Programs for Bridges USA, talking to us about the Bridge Builder program. Mario, thank you for coming on the show. Best of luck and tremendous success, from now into the future. And we look forward to seeing even more and greater things from our future bridge builders out there. Thanks for coming on tonight.
Thank you so much. Y'all have a great evening now.
You too, man. Take care.
Mm-hmm.
Mario Hendrix, ladies and gentlemen, talking about Bridges USA, the Bridge Builder program, and you can get your kids in if they're interested, 6th grade up. It is open and it is live right now. As he said, go online and check that out. And if it's something that you want your child to be involved in, sign them up, get them in to an absolutely great program. We're going to take our final break of this hour, and when we come back, we're going to shift gears and talk about athletics with a certified athletic trainer. This is the Monday edition of Real Talk Memphis. Every night. I'm thinking about 14 things, by the way, at one time here. But this is Real Talk Memphis, and I am Chip, and we will be right back.
If you like Real Talk, here's a way you can get involved. Do you have a show topic idea or suggestion? Want to be considered a guest or have a guest idea? Then send Chip a message on his Real Talk show page and you can be a part of the Real Talk experience. So as he always says, go out and tell somebody. We'll be right back.
It's real talk. It's real talk. It's real talk. It's real talk.
Now's your chance to sound off. You can help WYXR grow by taking a moment to fill out our brief listener survey. And your completion of the survey enters you into a raffle where you could win some big prizes.
Prizes include WYXR merch, 2 reserved seats at one of our stereo sessions, or a pair of tickets to see Tank and the Bangas at Minglewood Hall on April 2nd.
Visit survey.wyxr.org to complete the survey and enter to win.
Can't find your radio? Maybe you're out of town and missing that Memphis feeling? WYXR can go with you wherever you travel with our mobile app for Android and Apple. Listen live or explore our archive and keep up to date with notifications. Download in your mobile app store by searching WYXR radio app or visit wyxr.org for more information.
Did you know you could donate your vehicle and support WYXR at the same time? We offer free pickup and it's tax deductible. Go to cars.wyxr.org to donate your car today. You're listening, but are you in the know? The WYXR weekly newsletter is the best source for keeping up with events at WYXR, whether they are happening on our airwaves, behind the scenes, or out in the community. Log on to newsletter.wyxr.org to sign up for our mailing list and keep yourself in the loop.
Get Real Talk on the TuneIn mobile app under WYXR, and he's now streaming live on Facebook. And you can also catch a rebroadcast on YouTube. Just put WYXR in the search box and hit subscribe. Now back to more Real Talk with Chip Washington.
And welcome back to Real Talk Memphis on this Monday evening. Chip here with you. And excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, I was drinking water during the break and it went down the wrong way. So pardon me as I try to clear myself and conduct an interview at the same time. So we're very happy to have with us this evening Emily Carter. Emily is a certified athletic trainer, and we are going to talk about keeping our young people in peak condition, which is something that she's trained for and what she does. And Emily, it is very nice to have you on Real Talk Memphis. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you for being here. So in light of the Damar Hamlin situation, a young athlete in the prime of his athletic career, of course, we all saw what happened there as he collapsed and had a cardiac arrest and his heart stopped and he almost died. But it sort of brings to mind, I think, the care, first of all, as an athletic trainer. You work for what, is it Briarcrest? Is that the school you work with?
Yeah, so I am employed through Campbell Clinic Orthopedics, and then Briarcrest Christian School pays Campbell Clinic to have us contracted out to be at the school full time to provide sports medicine coverage.
So, what you do was really the spotlight was shown in reference to, as we said, Damar Hamlin's situation. The training and the quick work literally saved his life. Now, you're working with young athletes and in all different types of sports and varieties. So, I mean, I would obviously think that, you would impart to them just how important it is to make sure that you're in good shape and that you do some of the things physically that you need to do to try to keep yourself upright, healthy, and strong. And I'm particularly thinking about the football aspect of things. Just how important is your job, and what do you tell these young athletes that you work with, on a daily basis about keeping themselves upright and doing the right things to keep themselves physically fit?
Yeah, I mean, I think the important thing to remember, too, about the Damar Hamlin situation, like you said, he's a professional athlete in peak physical condition, and things can still go wrong. So that's why it's so important to have trained medical professionals at those types of sporting events at the middle school, high school, collegiate, and professional levels, just because, there's things that can go wrong. But it did really highlight and I think brought to light a lot of new appreciation for myself and my coworker that I have at Briarcrest with me, just after the situation had happened, just how essential we really are in the sporting world. We're oftentimes kind of in the background a lot of the times.
Yes.
And it's not until we go to work that people see what we do, but we do a lot more than just, tape ankles and put out the waters before practices. We're trained to handle these types of situations.
You are a certified athletic trainer, which means you have a lot of training and a lot of experience in this. You've gone to school for this. You've studied this. And I do think that now, and I'm sure that many of the student athletes over at the school that you work at, don't take you for granted anymore. You're right. At one point, it was just, we're here, we're going to tape you up, we're going to do this and do that. But when you were dealing with a real life and death situation, in this particular case of a prime athlete, it does tend to wake up a lot of folks. And I mean, I would imagine that that they're paying a lot more attention to some of the things that you're trying to tell them to do. Am I correct in that?
Yeah, definitely. And it did validate a lot of the hard work and efforts that we put into our day-to-day job. Even the night that the incident with Damar Hamlin went down, I received so many text messages and encouraging phone calls from, former players, current players, parents, just about how thankful they were that we were able to provide that kind of service to the school and the community as well.
We hear every now and again, we hear about a student athlete in, say, maybe high school or college, that dies unexpectedly. We've heard that 18, 19 years old, very, very young. Are there, when that happens, Do you all, I guess, in terms of what you do, in terms of whatever situation caused the death of a student athlete, does that make you all, kind of raise your antennas a little bit more in terms of what may have happened to that particular individual and how, if we can possibly prevent that from happening to one of our students that we deal with on a daily basis?
Yeah, so initially when I got hired on at the school, and when any athletic trainer is put out at a school, one of the first things that you should always do is create emergency action plans, or what we call EAPs, for every venue that you might be covering. So it's just, when there's an emergency, a lot of the times it kind of looks like just chaos is going on, but I can guarantee you that it's all a well-coordinated dance that, different medical professionals, the coaches, everyone gets involved to ensure that everything goes according to this emergency action plan. So as much as we don't want to have to activate that, we do practice it, and it is something that we try to touch on just so that everyone is aware of what needs to happen in the case of an emergency.
You work through Campbell Clinic, and Campbell Clinic, of course, is a place that is well known and well renowned, for handling certain types of injuries and things like that. How is working for such an organization as Campbell Clinic, which, as I said, is renowned for the care that they offer? How beneficial, how important is that to you personally, and to what you try to instill in these young athletes that you deal with?
Yeah, for me personally, it's been a great experience. Just, this was my first job out of college, and now I've been in this profession for almost 5 years. So coming into a place such as Campbell Clinic that's so well known and positively received by the community was really encouraging. And all of my coworkers have been in the athletic training field for a lot longer than I have most of the time. So it was really nice to kind of learn the ropes from people that have been here and, handled situations like that in the past. So it's just full of really amazing people. Personally, on the athletic training side, we have 19 full-time athletic trainers that are contracted out to various schools in the Memphis area. We even send a few down to the Mississippi schools. And then we have a few that can come in when we need some extra coverage at various events that we provide sports medicine coverage to. And then on the physician side as well, we work pretty close with the physicians. So if we have an athlete that gets hurt out of the school, a lot of the times we have a team physician that we can refer them to so that we know they're getting seen by the proper person, which is really beneficial for not only us because we can communicate back and forth with the physician, but also it's very reassuring for the athlete and the parents just to know that they're being sent to someone that's well trusted. And all of the Campbell Clinic physicians are incredible.
Absolutely that. And you mentioned the number of trainers that there are. Is there not one at every school? If there isn't, should there be one at every school that has an athletic program?
Yeah, this is definitely something that is needed in all high schools across all America. Mm-hmm. There's not an athletic trainer at every school in Memphis, and we're not even close to that number just because of different financial reasons, things like that. But I had listened to a NFL preparedness podcast after the whole Damar Hamlin situation, and one of the people in the NFL community went as far to say that if you're not able to provide an athletic trainer, you shouldn't be able to have sports at your school. That's how much they valued our services. So
what's your take on that? What's your take on that, Emily? What do you think about that?
I definitely think that we are needed out at not only the schools that can afford us, but every place that has athletics. I mean, you never know when something's going to come up. So it's definitely a service that should be implemented everywhere worldwide.
Well, I got to tell you something. I am in awe of the work that you all do, the training, the preparedness to be able to, and we saw the result of that. All of us on national television, and Damar Hamlin is still alive, strictly because of certified trainers like yourself. Emily Carter, thank you so much for taking some time out to come and visit with us here on Real Talk Memphis tonight. Really appreciate you, and thank you for the work that you do with our young folks, as well as thanking the Campbell Clinic for the magnificent partnership and training that they provide as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Absolutely that. You have a great night, and we'll talk to you down the road. Really appreciate you. Emily Carter, ladies and gentlemen, she's a certified athletic trainer, and we're getting into the season now. Football season is about to kick off again. And so the position that she has, and so many others that do what she does have, is extraordinarily valuable especially to your young athlete in taking care of themselves and their body and everything else. And that wraps up this edition of Real Talk Memphis. It's been a good show tonight. We've gotten a lot of information out, even on this spring break edition. Now, I know a lot of you are probably out of town right now, but lucky for you that this show is not only on the World Wide Web, but it is also a podcast. So if you happen to miss this fine piece of radio broadcasting this evening, you can always catch it when they post it tomorrow to all podcast platforms. And as Bryn plays us out, I look outside and I see the sun is starting to set, although it's still light, so we can find our way out of the parking lot. Thank you all for being with us tonight, the ones of you who have been with us this evening. Really appreciate you. Really appreciate the opportunity to be here with you each and every week. Try to provide some good information for you to take along with you. If you're on spring break, I hope that you enjoy yourself. Stay safe, stay up, stay healthy, and more importantly, stay out of trouble, okay? We look to see you next week. So for Nicole, for Lola, for Bryn, I'm Chip. This is Real Talk Memphis. Have a great week. We are out. What's up, JMB? How you doing, man? Good to see you, man. Always good to see you. Yeah, it's okay. Dana!